Hey, what's up, peeps? You're listening to the Let Loose with Lou podcast. I'm a full time working woman, mother of three, and a wifey to one lucky man. My passion is getting to know people, listening to their stories, and learning from their points of view on life. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy it. What is going on? Welcome, guys. We're back. Hope you guys all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. This is Lou, and guess who's back? My co-host Tuna's here.
What's up, y'all? It's been a while.
Oh, wait, not that one.
No, it's all good.
Wait, where's the cheer one?
Oh, you got to look for that one.
Yeah,
But hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, y'all. Hope y'all ate a lot of food and got to spend some time with some families. But if you want to talk about the topic here.
Yeah, so today's topic, and it actually falls well entwines with Thanksgiving, right? Because it's about struggles, how, struggles are real out here, and we have a couple of guests that have a couple of great stories here. Let me go ahead and introduce them. We have Robert. Robert, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thank you very much. We have Charlene.
Hi.
Hi, Charlene.
Nice to meet you.
And I have Carlos.
Yo, what up?
So we're going to talk about struggles, how, in life in general, there's a lot of struggles. What it could be financial, it could be drugs, alcohol, streets, anything. There's all kinds of struggles. We all go through struggles. And we're going to share a couple of stories with you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy. And this is
Oh, it's Kobe.
Kobe. Say hi, Kobe.
Hi, Kobe.
Say hi, Kobe.
And we're going to start off with how the struggles are real right here. So go ahead, Robert. Let's start with you.
Yeah, my name is Robert. Yeah. Man, I'm a single dad. Yeah, I have 4 boys.
4 boys.
Yeah.
What are the ages?
I have a 25-year-old, 22-year-old,
22.
and 2 3-year-olds.
Mhm. 2 3-year-olds. Twins?
Mexican twins.
Mexican twins. How cute. Mixed.
Same dad, different moms.
Oh,
Never
got
heard that
you.
before.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute. You're so funny. Okay, I get it. Okay.
They're 10 days apart.
10 days
Yeah.
apart.
10 days apart.
Did that get you in trouble?
For a second, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but luckily we're all adults and it worked out.
It worked out
'cause
good.
The main focus is the kids.
That's
Yeah.
yes. I love that name, Cash.
Yeah, but I'm a single dad and yeah, man, struggles, I grew up with a lot of I grew up kind of pretty much I had a mom and a dad.
Mhm.
So growing up I had a good little foundation. We had
Structure.
tradition. Yeah, we have real good structure.
Mhm.
I grew up like in East LA,
Mhm.
in El Sereno, a little town,
Yes.
and my dad was my baseball coach, basketball coach, all
Oh,
that.
okay.
But like there was always something missing. Like I like the lifestyle, you know what I mean? Like of everybody else that wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing, right?
Got it.
Like my brother, he's a fireman. He's the chief of South San Francisco Fire Department.
Wow.
So like
Pretty
I had
cool.
good role models, you
Mhm.
know what I mean? But I was always attracted to all the other stuff.
Yes.
What made you feel that way? Because there's a difference between nature and nurture, right?
It wasn't I was that kid in the neighborhood who went outside, right? I was always that one kid that always breaking windows. You know what I mean? Like I just was attracted. Like I
You're
don't
like
know.
a bad boy.
I was hyper.
Yeah,
Put it like that.
okay.
That's what they
Okay.
try to tell me. I was
Yes.
hyper.
Yes.
You know what I mean? My teachers would always tell my parents, like, he's very hyper. But I played sports and all that. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. I played sports, basketball, baseball, everything, And just once I hit junior high, man, like I didn't have that, how do you say that, cocoon of them watching me, right?
Mhm.
Because from 1st through 6th grade, like
Yes.
I was very, like, watched, taken to school, brought home. But once I got to, like, junior high and I was able to not have, how do you say, the kind of my family watching me.
Oh, yes,
and
yes,
I was
because
alone.
it's less, it's different elementary to transitioning
Yeah.
to junior high school, yes.
Yeah, so I started making a lot of bad choices, and
Oh.
dropped out of school young and led to running the streets and getting into gangs,
Mhm.
and then led to the county jail and then state prison and just snowball effect for probably about 25 years out of my life.
Wow, 20 and
Yeah.
how old are you now?
Right now, I'm 44.
44.
Yeah, so from
So over
probably
half
about-
of your life.
Half of
yeah,
your
so
life.
probably from about 14 years old to I was 38. The longest maybe I was out on the street was, I think, 9 months. So I was either incarcerated, county jail,
Yeah.
prison, something like that. Drug
Yes.
use, just all kinds of stuff, man. And I kind of got stuck where like I just thought that's how it was gonna be,
Mhm.
But to me, God had a different plan for me. That's what I truly believe. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And yeah, when I was about 38 years old, it's been about 6 years now. 6 years, yeah, give or take. And yeah, man, I just hit a bottom. I hit this bottom, and once again, I was incarcerated, and I hit this bottom, and I was sitting there. I was back in the county jail, and I was just thinking, like, man, it's because, like I said, I had a mother and a father, right? And my dad really, he really like my father. He cared. My mom loved me. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
always sat down and asked me, "What are you gonna do today, mijo?" You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. So that teaching, that growing up, even though growing up and acting like I didn't care, it still resonated inside with me. It was there in my heart.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like I was just sitting there that one last time on that bunk in that cell, and I was like, man, my dad passed away
Oh,
before
sorry
that
to
in
hear that.
2006.
Were you locked up when he passed away?
Yes, I was
Oh
locked up.
man.
You know what I mean? And I just sat there and I was like, look, Dad, I don't know if there's a heaven. I don't know if there's a hell. I don't know what, but I do know that you can hear me. I just told him, show me something. And little did I know, like it's not like the cell opened up and I
Mm.
just was, it took some work, you know what I mean? But what happened is I started to do this process,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And I found a 12-step program, and I lived a life of recovery today. And because of that, it's taught me how to change my perspective of life.
Life, yes.
That way my perception changes.
Mhm.
And a lot of struggles I think I have, I realize now they're kind of opportunities to grow
To
and learn
grow.
from.
Correct.
Like for instance, him right now, like just 2 weeks ago, me and his my kid's mother, we take turns with him, and she lost her mother about 2 weeks ago,
Oh,
and
sorry to hear that.
she had a nervous breakdown, and she got checked into 5150 psych ward, and right there and then was an easy reason to be like, oh,
Yeah.
and don't get me wrong, my head was like, 'cause sometimes I still battle with, can I do it,
Mm.
right? Like I still talk myself out of like something simple. I'm available today to be available to my kids,
Yes.
right? But this thing right here in my head will tell me like, nah, you're not gonna be able to do it. It tells me like, what are you gonna really, like
Yeah,
it
you
just,
struggle with that
yeah, it was
that
struggle
back and forth. Like, should I,
all
shouldn't
the
I?
time.
You always want that reason, right?
Yeah.
Just give me that one reason
And
to
sometimes in
just
your
do
head,
it.
yeah, and in your
Yes.
head, you're like, man, I don't have a kid in my house now. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah,
I
like,
can't do what I want to do.
that's it.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to like. That's what this. That's what this thing.
Responsibilities.
Yeah, yeah. To be
Yeah.
responsible, really, to be responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, because once you're in that level, it's all free, right?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like you're done for a while. Like, it's crazy, that feel, you
Yeah.
know?
Time to step up.
But
Yeah.
like I said, I was available to be available, right?
Mhm.
And I was able to go there and like pick him up and know he's gonna stay with me,
Yes.
And it's just beautiful, man.
It
Like
is.
it's really a blessing. It's really like how do you say it? I can't describe the feeling, but like
It's not a struggle, it's a blessing.
it's not a struggle no more, right? Like I was saying earlier, like I can see it as it's a learning lesson. Like
Yeah.
it's not even a learning, it's not even a lesson. It's just I'm available, like I said, to be available for my kids, man. Because
Mhm.
my older kids, like they might have some resentments because I wasn't there for them. Right?
Yeah.
Yes,
All right, I
true.
got a
So you have
25.
a second chance now to make it right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And you still have an opportunity with your other.
Oh, they're in my
children as
life.
well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
They're in my life. Before I came here, he sent me money. I ate dad sent me money. You know what I mean?
It's never too late. You'll always be dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
never too late.
He's like, hey, pops, can I get some money? You know what I mean? I'm trying
Yeah.
to. My 25-year-old, and he's a dad himself.
Wow.
And one thing I can say about him, he's a great dad to my granddaughter.
Good.
He's-
See, that's
he's
beautiful.
really like.
So he learned something. See, you're doing
Yeah.
something right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he's learned to be a good dad,
Yeah.
he learned it somewhere. So he must have seen his grandfather
Yeah.
and then how you.
My dad was a pillar, a real pillar in our life.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really we call him a gentle giant.
Oh.
He was a
yeah.
big dude, big Mexican dude, 6'6", 200.
Dang.
He was a big
Wow.
dude,
Yeah.
but he was just so my father gave back always, right?
Yes.
He liked to coach at the park. He liked to coach kids. He liked to like I said, I wasn't there for his funeral, right?
Oh, that
And
must have been
I
painful, huh?
I don't know the outcome, but from my mother told me like so many people showed up,
Oh,
and they're like, I remember him from Little League.
wow.
Like he used to coach me, like he used to give me rides home, like all this stuff. Just people were showing up, like, and like that's the kind of how do you say legacy I want to leave for my kids.
Positive
Yes.
impact.
Right.
And positive
Like,
impact,
like
correct.
that's what it's about now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We can have all the nice things, fancy cars, gold chains, all that stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like the impact I make on my
And,
Mhm.
and not just
exactly.
my kids, like society, man. 'Cause I took from society so long. You know, I took from society so long, like just taking and taking and taking and
Yeah.
taking.
So, if you don't mind me asking, your first time, how did you feel? Like, what was your thoughts? Like, when you first were incarcerated, like, what went through your mind? Like,
I was mad that my friend told on me.
it's always that. That's always the reason, right?
That's what I was mad about.
Hey.
You know?
Your friend?
Yeah.
What's the rule, Carlos, about friends? They ain't real friends, right?
That ain't no friend.
No,
Man.
you know
He
that's
was like, man,
Or maybe he did
somebody
you a
you used to
favor,
know.
bro.
yeah. That's
Maybe
what,
he did you a
like,
favor.
Once again, your perception
You know what I mean?
changes. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
see, there was increments in my life where people were working, I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean? And today I'm able to see, like, oh, because what if I would have stayed out? You know, would have got shot. I've already been shot.
Yeah.
I didn't say that neither. Like, I've been shot. I've been, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I've been through the ringer through that lifestyle. You know what I
Wow.
mean? And I would defend that. I would die for that back
Yeah.
in, you know?
Back in the
And
day.
like, yeah, man. Like, I would have gave everything I had for
Mhm.
that, you know?
yeah, totally.
And I would have missed out on this.
Yeah.
You know, I would have missed out on this.
Yes, but the good thing is that now you have that opportunity to restart and make
Sí,
things,
papas.
better,
Right.
especially for the children, because that's what it's really about. And like, look at now, you have an opportunity to raise your baby. And it's true. And the crazy part is that it's not just struggles for women. Like, sometimes women are like, oh, we're single mothers. Dude, it's not just single mothers; it's single dads too.
Absolutely.
They struggle just as hard.
Mhm.
And it's harder because maternal instinct runs different for a woman than a male.
Mhm.
Men are like, whoa, wait a minute. What do I need to do now? Like, how does this work? Right.
Yeah.
And the struggles. Like, you probably think like, shit, how do they do it?
It is.
I don't think men get enough recognition for that
They
though.
No.
truly
No.
no.
When
They
it comes to
don't.
the woman, it's like they get all the recognition, whether they do bad or good. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But when it comes to the man, and we're taking care of business, for our children,
Mhm.
because I was a single father for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And she knows,
Mm-hmm.
and I raised my boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love
But at the
you.
end of the day, it's like it's a good topic that you brought that up, man, because
Yeah.
we struggle with that too internally.
Totally.
Men don't want to show that we struggle.
Right.
We want to show that we got this under wrap.
Right.
You know
Because
what
then
I'm
they
saying?
think you're weak. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
that's what we think as men. We think other people are gonna think that we're
Yeah,
weak.
for sure. And
Yeah.
I applaud Rob
Exactly.
because I hang around with him all the time, and I see how he is with his kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And for the lifestyle that we come from, it's like we weren't there
Mhm.
at one point. And I'll tell you straight up, I wasn't there for the first 5 kids. You know what I mean? I was always incarcerated. I was out running the streets doing the things that we do, doing dope, getting high, robbing, stealing, right here in the city of Long Beach. You know what I mean? I terrorized this city. So to watch another man that came from where I come from the institutions that we come from, and doing the time and not being a part of our kids' lives, like I can honestly tell you, for the past 21 years clean, I've been a part of and available for my kids.
Yeah.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
beautiful.
So, now I'm there for my daughter. She just came from Arkansas with my grandkids. And we talk about it all the time on how he helps me out, even though he has, the amount of time that he has clean, you know what I mean, less than me. He helps me more than I can help him sometimes when it comes to parenting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I may have more experience, but at the end of the day, there's things that I still don't know
Mhm.
as a father. You know what I mean? Kids don't come with a
Manual.
manual or a handbook on how to raise them. And then you gotta think for the first 20, like my first 5 kids, I got a 32-year-old, 20. Wait, hold on. Yeah, she just turned 32, 31, 29, 26. Dang.
Damn.
That's a
Keep
lot.
on going.
21, and then a 19-year-old.
You want to borrow some fingers over here?
Hey, man, I need to borrow some fingers from somebody.
some,
man.
some toes?
I got the Mexican Brady bunch. I got 3 girls and 3 boys.
Oh.
But like we talk about it all the time, man. In the opposite of Rob, my mom and dad were both heroin addicts and both been in the penitentiary numerous times.
Mhm.
So it was easy for me to grasp that concept of life compared to somebody that works or had a choice. You
Right.
understand what I mean?
Right.
Yes.
And I don't envy that because you know what? At the end of the day, it taught him something along the way, whether he chose the wrong path or not.
Mhm.
He still has some morals and values that his dad left behind
Right.
because of how he acts with his kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I think being an addict in the process of recovery, I think that there's no shame in it. You know what I mean? We all struggle with something, you know what I mean? Whether it was, abandonment issues, the lying, the cheating, the stealing, the conniving, the manipulation, you know what I mean, that we have to deal with, and not feeling loved at home, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people that do get embarrassed of that, you know what I mean? They're afraid to say that on terms of what are people going to think about us.
Yep.
And it's not even our fault,
Nope.
you know what I mean? And so the easier, softer way out is to get high. It is to live the lifestyle of gangbanging.
It's escape.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? We escape reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We don't want to face reality. We don't want to take responsibility. We don't want to take accountability for our actions. Why? Because it's so easy to do that than to do what we're doing now.
Right.
Exactly.
It's hard to do the right thing.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's hard
Right,
to do the
right.
right thing. That's one of the things that my friend, taught me. And he always told me, like, look, bro, you're gonna want to do the other shit, but it's harder to challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to do the right thing.
Yes.
Because that's what makes you a man.
Mhm.
All that other stuff is easy.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
So
If you want a real challenge, do the right thing. It doesn't matter if you're gonna put yourself in a bind, but just try to do the right thing.
Because at the end of the day, you're challenging your own self.
Yeah.
You know, you're fighting yourself to do the right thing.
Yep.
And that's what's hard because that person in the mirror, that's who you're fighting right
That's the
there.
biggest one you're in
Exactly.
competition with.
Biggest
Yeah.
competition.
You know,
only competition.
I was listening to Robert share, and then I know my brother Carlos here since, we've been clean, and I was raised with a single father.
Mhm.
So I want to give all single dads much props,
Mhm.
right? Because I
Totally.
saw my dad struggle. My dad raised 4 kids,
Wow.
3 girls by himself because my mom died when I was 6.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So, but he fought to keep us together. Everybody wanted to separate us, and so it was rough growing up, and trying to escape. That's where I ran to alcohol, or just
Have
and
different
it was a lot
outlets.
easier because I grew up confused.
Mhm.
I didn't know I knew that my mom was gone and I was never going to see her again. But as a 6-year-old, you don't understand that. It's
Oh,
like
yes.
so there was a lot of confusion
Mhm.
and I rebelled. And in school, I grew up and I just rebelled and I was a little tomboy and I was just, angry,
Mhm.
and
You're
just
emotionally angry and
emotionally
confused.
angry and confused. And then my dad was very, he didn't have that maternal instinct, but he was very, you don't cry. It was all about respect in the household.
Mm.
He raised us with morals and values, and
Was he like strict like my
old
Mexican?
school Mexican father?
Chicano,
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, old school Mexican father. He knows
Papa.
my dad.
Yeah.
Papi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't
then
mess with Papi.
And plus, he had to work.
Yeah.
He had to work.
He had to work, and he was always working to support the kids,
family,
right?
the
But
kids.
it was like there was a lot of physical and emotional abuse. As far as like we all grew up. My oldest brother, he grew up. He was the one that was the most hurt because he took it the hardest.
Yes.
and
Being
so
the oldest.
yeah.
Yes.
So it was like he felt like he had to kind of
Frustration.
take over and kind of, but it's like he was 10 years old, so it's like we really just grew up on our own.
Mhm.
But me, I always felt like I was different. I don't know what it was, but I knew from a very young age I was a runner. So I started using and doing different things at like 15 years old, 12 years old. I was already like, just trying to run and escape my
Escape
reality.
The reality.
And that's what
exactly.
it is, trying to
Yes.
escape that reality, And so, yeah, I mean, I up when I was 15 is when I went into treatment, my first time going into treatment.
Now,
And
did you go into treatment? Your dad put you in, or
no,
because
I
you were
wanted to
caught?
go.
Oh, okay, okay.
I wanted to go because
Yes.
at about 15 years old, I was waking up with the shakes
Mm,
and I needed a drink.
yes.
Oh.
And then I was an angry, raging, it was one of those that like it just it wasn't fun anymore. It started out fun and then it wasn't fun no more.
Yes, exactly.
And so I started to instinctively know that, I think I have a problem. And so I was at like my bottom and I just told my dad, like, I think I have a problem. And in Spanish, he was just like, no, te vamos a ayudar, I'm going to help you. We're going to take you here, and I'm like, good, I'm ready. Like, let's go.
Mhm.
Because my dad didn't raise us that way. And I knew that there was a lot more that I was struggling with.
Mhm.
So that's when I went willingly to
Yes.
treatment at 15 years old.
What age bracket are you with your siblings?
So I'm a twin.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then my older sister's 2 years. She's 2 years older than me, and then my brother's 2 years older than. So he's 5 years older than
So you
me.
guys were the
So
babies.
I was the baby because I was born second.
Second, yes, there you go.
But I do have a little brother who's
Uh-huh.
my half brother. We're at a 10-year difference. And that was my dad got involved with somebody
Mhm.
for like a year or two. I forget how, but she was abusive,
Oh,
and it didn't work out.
yeah.
And he was only with her, I think, the most 2 years.
Mhm.
And then he saw how she was. He just wanted a woman in the house
Yes.
while he was at work. And it didn't work
It
out. So
didn't.
he pulled us out of there quick and we got our own place. And but it was already, I mean, my own stuff had already began,
Mhm.
so it was just, and I ended up going into a treatment center and then entered into a 12-step program. But just being that young, really trying to do the right thing, my mind at 15, 16, was still immature, still like, So I ended up picking up again
Mm.
and then went on like a 3-year run until 19 years old. I finally, hit my bottom where it was like, all right, I'm ready. Like I'm ready to go, But in that process, I had a little one. I had a baby, and so
Did that help you reevaluate what
it
you were
did.
doing?
Because and I'm glad you asked that question because I'll never forget my last day when I surrendered.
Mhm.
And that's what it really is about, is surrendering, right? It's really
Yes.
making a surrender every day, making that conscious decision every day, to challenge ourselves, to have that self-discipline. Like, no,
Yes.
I'm not gonna be, I'm gonna be better than what I was yesterday. I'm gonna do better than what because none of us are perfect, I mean,
We're all human.
we're all human.
Yeah, we all feel.
We're a work in progress, and we're
Exactly.
constantly learning
Learning
new
every day.
things every day.
Mhm.
We don't ever have it down packed,
The
right?
struggles
Watch
are
out.
real every
it is.
single day.
Like, don't ever think you got it down packed, right?
Yeah.
Because
Then you
it
get
is.
like a
You
switch, a
learn
flip.
something
Yeah.
new.
Watch
every
out! Here
day.
comes the next shake.
Oh, here comes
You
the
know?
next one.
She starts doing all that.
Oh
Watch
my
out.
God. Stop. So, and then, along the way, you
Yes.
meet amazing. This is my brother right here.
Yes.
We are like brother
Carlos
and
is
sister.
awesome.
He is.
He
Yeah.
is.
You
He
know, I
really
don't
is.
have a tight relationship with my older brother. I just don't. I still don't to this day, which is, I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
Totally okay with that. Love him. I love him right where he's at, and I'll leave
Yes.
him right where he's at.
Mm.
But, I've been blessed with this brother of mine here.
Yes.
We've trudged this road together and have gone through a lot of things together, and we're like on this same
We fight
journey.
like brother and sister.
And we fight like brother and sister.
Cuss each
you know?
other out.
Oh,
3 days
man.
later, we're hugging. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. So let me ask you, what
Yeah.
was your hardest point? When did you hit rock bottom?
Yeah.
Give me that story when you hit rock bottom and you just realize it, like, bam, this is it. I'm done.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna like just lay it all out.
Lay it out, baby girl.
So
go.
my
That's it.
my son's
loose.
father
Yes.
ended up getting busted,
Mhm.
and then he got out.
Mhm.
But while he was busted, which was a blessing in disguise, really, because I have one of the most beautifulest things that I have gotten here while being clean and sober is having a personal relationship with my God,
Mhm.
And I truly believe that God was setting the stage
Mhm.
up until that time where I surrendered. But things were happening. So he gets busted for something that I know he didn't do,
Mhm.
but he got busted for it. So I feel like God was removing certain things
Things
in my life
yes,
where I could no
obstacles.
longer run to.
Makes sense.
And then my dad, you know, with that tough love Mexican father, my dad saved my life.
Mm.
You know, he had the cops drag me out of the house,
Wow.
and he called the social services on me,
Wow.
took my son from me. He saved my life though, and
No,
locked the
tough
doors.
love.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tough
he
love.
switched the locks and never let me in the house after that. He didn't care how tired I was.
And that must have
I
been
wanted
hard.
Especially for
Yeah.
him. For him, yeah.
It was really hard for him.
Because, you know, now that you're a parent, you know how hard it is to make a decision of using tough love
and
on
I
your
have,
child.
I have,
Yes.
yes, I have,
And that's hard because it breaks us,
Mm-hmm.
especially as moms, you know, because we're always trying to think, okay, well, you know, they won't do it again, or, you know, I'll give them that last chance and opportunity. But it just keeps going and going and going because
Yeah.
children know how to, you know,
They manipulate
their, yes.
Right.
Trust
you
and
know?
believe, man.
Yeah,
Yes.
They're smart, man. They're smart.
I'm old school, man. My mom used to be like, she just give you that look after that first ass whooping.
Ooh,
You be like, uh-oh.
no more.
And then, but see, there it is again, though. It's like she taught us, like, even getting high,
wow.
even when my mom was getting high,
Mhm.
right? She still taught us manners.
Mm.
She still taught us respect. Like, we didn't disrespect our elders. It was thank you, please, you know, excuse me.
Mhm.
You know, the things that people, they don't think about now.
Right.
Yes.
Like, I could be walking in the store right now and these youngsters are bumping into you, don't say excuse me, nothing.
Yeah, they're very rude.
And
Yeah.
sometimes I
So
want to snatch them up against a chip rack and be like, yo, homie.
Yep.
Rack.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, where we come from,
Seriously. Yeah.
because
You don't do that.
No, for real. Where we come from, you can ask them. Like, inside,
Mhm.
it's a whole different lifestyle.
Yep.
You bump into somebody, you better say excuse me.
Learn
If not,
manners
you gonna
real
get some
quick.
steel in you.
Mhm. You'll learn quick.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
sure.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn that you can't fight on that day. You know what I mean? He knows.
Yeah.
You step on somebody's shoe, you might get lights out.
That's it.
It's that serious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you come out here and then you have to kind of like, and then people call each other bees, you know, the bitches and all that, playing around. And it's like, I don't play like that because I was taught
No.
Yep.
the only way I'm gonna use that word
That's-
is if we're gonna get out
that's
or we're
it.
gonna stick each other.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I see it thrown around and I'm like, and I have to learn how to live in society that, you know what, these people ain't been where I've been.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if they slip up and say something like that, I got to kind of think like, I got to play the whole tape through.
Changed.
You know what I mean? Like I have to change my thought process.
Mhm.
And I've been doing it for the last over 21 years now,
Mm-hmm.
Well, after
trying to
21
practice the
years
way of living out here,
here.
Right.
right?
Yeah. How long was your bit?
I did like the life installment plan. I went in and out since the age of 8 all the way to 29.
8 years
Yeah,
old?
they're not
I was
funny.
on a life installment plan.
Wait.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
8 years old.
8 years old. Petty theft, you know, stealing candy
How was
and
your
stuff
house?
like that.
Stuff.
Streets was just vacation.
You know, and yeah, you know, like, and so to do that and get structured in a program of doing that, it became more comfortable
Mm-hmm.
than being out here.
Yeah.
That's
So now it wasn't just about the dope because we found it in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it like, I was like going home.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out here was like a family visit.
That's
Come out here, get laid, get high, gang bang, rob. For us, it was like the thrill.
Yeah.
The lifestyle was a thrill for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got high before I even put dope in my system.
wow.
When I was going to rob somebody or something,
That was your rush.
Right.
that was my rush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I had my pistol on me, like I became like Superman,
Mm-hmm.
like untouchable,
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't afraid to pull the trigger if need be. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because if I didn't give a fuck about my life, how am I gonna give a fuck about yours?
Yep.
Like straight up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If I didn't even care about my kids at home,
Yeah.
but I was the dude that wanted to go put my daughter to sleep. But I had to get that one more before I hit the road. And then when I got that one more, I had to get another one for the road, right? And then if I got that, I had to get something that's gonna last me throughout the night. And then I get that, and then I end up busted again.
Yeah.
And all I wanted to do was put my daughter to sleep.
What made you change? What made you finally say, I'm done with all of this?
Torrance PD.
Torrance Police Department. Thank you, man.
Yep.
I ain't never been busted out of the city of Long Beach except for twice. One in Lenox and one in
Torrance.
Torrance. And the last one, it was for a DUI. I was coming out of a bar over there, a sports bar right there on Sepulveda. And I had my lowrider outside, and I thought I was cool. I was drinking all the Raiders game. You know what I mean? We were doing really good in 2002. And I hit. As a matter of fact, he lives on the block that I turned down where they pulled me over. He lives there now. And they told me, they said, why did you pull over? Why did you turn down this block? If you would have kept going straight, we wouldn't even pulled you over because you were driving perfectly fine. But you turned and we knew you didn't live in this neighborhood.
Damn.
Oh, so they had
were
already.
Because that
on it.
neighborhood,
That's how they
Yeah.
popped
He
you.
was
Yeah.
head for everything else.
right? And I swear, man,
Love you too.
and I thank him. Thank you, Torrance PD.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I got to that cell, I was like, man, I'm tired of this shit, man. Like I heard the door shut and I wasn't tired of being tired. I was just broken
Exhausted,
tired.
Mhm.
Kobe.
And that's hard when you get in that mental stage, right? When you're so tired that you're exhaustedly dead tired, right?
Yeah, because like I hear a lot of people say, oh, every time I got busted, I cry out to God to get me out. Like I wasn't that dude. I never cried out to God to get me out of any jam.
Mhm.
Right. And for that night, I always thought God was punishing. You know what I mean? Because, being raised Catholic, you're going to hell if you do this. You're going to hell for do that if you do this. Right?
My grandma.
Say 20 rosaries and all this stuff, right? And I'm like, man, if I'm going to hell, I'm gonna do that shit legitly then. Let's roll. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
for real, I'm gonna get mine. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make it worth it. And that was my thought process, right? So at the end of the day, it's like I stopped believing in God. Like, I think it was over 40-some years now. I had stopped believing in God. I stopped praying. I stopped doing all the only time I went to church in the joint or in YA was just to see the homies from other units or other buildings, right? And communicate. Or if something needed to be done, we did it, you know what I mean? We handled business there. So, then I got clean, and then they started, talking about a higher power, you know what I mean? And I believed that there was a God. I just thought he was punishing. But then when I got clean, I was like, there's got to be a good God.
Yeah.
So it's
Got to be
it's crazy
you know.
you say that because there's a book, there's a philosopher. He was actually in the Holocaust. He's a Jewish Holocaust survivor.
Yeah.
He saw his entire family get killed by the Nazis.
Wow.
Yeah.
All of them. He had no hope. He was just done, right? And as a philosopher, he started figuring out, well, what is it? He noticed that a lot of people in the concentration camps, once they lost everything, they would just die.
Yeah.
They had nothing else. So then he came up with his reasoning the book is called Man's Search for Meaning.
Yeah.
Right? And you found your meaning.
Yeah.
You found your purpose, right?
Well,
Which
still
is God.
searching for more of my purpose.
You're searching for it right now, but you found something to
Yeah, oh, yeah,
onto
to
for
hold on
right
to.
now.
To grab
Yeah.
onto
To
it,
grab
move
onto
forward.
it. And for some people,
Yeah.
that's passing on the torch. Positive
Yeah.
impacts, religion. Being
I had
being
to
a good
learn.
mother, whatever it is. As long as somebody finds that purpose, that one thing to strive, to live for, right? To do better for, and I feel like that's a very important thing. So thank you for sharing that because that's true, man.
Yeah, because like this is crazy that you said that because we look for the purpose, right? Like I think it was this year, January 4th, I was involved in a head-on collision, right? And I seen the car coming at me. It was doing like at least 65 miles an hour, right?
Wow.
And I'm like looking at the car and I'm like, before this, let me back up a little bit. 2020 was a major spiritual connection when I went back to church and I got converted to Christianity, right? And I'm not no holy roller or nothing like that. I do my best with what I have, right? I do read my Bible. I do the things that I need to for my spirit, right? I'm in a recovery 12-step program, long term, you know what I mean? So coming to believe again, right? That this is the God that I've always been praying to, but I thought he was punishing.
Mm-hmm.
But then coming back into the church and trying to get leaving the church, wanting more of a relationship with God,
Yeah.
right? Wanting more of a relationship with Jesus Christ, right? And so I started getting that. And he started filling my spirit even more. And spiritual principles that I've learned along the way, man, have been magnified.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I started to understand a little bit more about who I am and who God is intending me to be. It's not that dude that was running the street. It wasn't. And I used to blame God. Why you bring me through this? Why you doing this to me, man? Why am I getting punished? Why am I going to jail? Why am I ending up in prison? Why am I in the hole? Why am I getting shot? Why am I getting stabbed? Why am I getting jumped? Why am I ending up in the hospital almost dead? Right? Not realizing that he wasn't dragging me through nothing. I was dragging him through everything.
Mm-hmm.
That he was my protector.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, man, if I really look at it and I sit back and I look at everything that I've done against his will, I should be dead or doing life in prison right now.
Grace and mercy.
Yeah.
Right? And it's only through God's grace and mercy that I'm still here.
That's right.
So then I come to believe, and then I'm looking at this car coming straight at me. And I was at peace, and I was like, this is it. But I was at peace. I wasn't like, oh my God. I was like, this is it.
Right.
That thought just went in there. I said, this is it. And boom. And I came to, and I'm like, the only thing I could think of was like, thank you, God. I know you ain't done with me yet. So when you talk about purpose, I know that he's not done with me yet.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a phone call that I'm cleared to go into a prison this Wednesday to speak to some high-powered inmates that are graduated from some kind of program that they got going on in there.
That's awesome.
And they have never,
Yeah.
it's
That's
never been
awesome.
done in this facility to have an outside speaker come in during their graduation to share with them.
Wow.
That's amazing, man. That's
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
That's
bro.
awesome.
Good job, bro.
Congratulations.
Good
We're gonna
job.
have to bring you back, and you're gonna have to let
this
us
is,
know how that went.
yeah, this
Right.
is not, this
Yes.
is, I don't believe in coincidences.
Nope.
I believe everything happens for a reason.
Reason.
Absolutely.
So what Rob was talking about, like us giving back what was freely given to us, because we don't pay to hit a meeting. We don't pay to go to church. We donate, but it's not like you have to. It's freely given to you. Why? Because God wants to give you that love freely. He wants to free you from within so you can help somebody else grasp that. I believe that.
Yeah.
And if you're out there and you're listening to this, man, you don't have to believe the way I believe. You don't have to be a Christian like I am. You can have your own higher power. You can have your own God. You can do what you got to do and believe in that. And just believe that he's loving, caring, kind, forgiving, and compassionate.
That's
Just like
good.
you asked me earlier, right?
Yeah.
It's like we have a void,
Yes.
right? We all have this hole, right? Before I got here, I had this big old hole, right? And I used the gangs, I used streets, I used drugs, I used everything I could, right, to keep trying to fill that void, right? But it's just so how do you say, so it just wants more.
More. But see, like
Right.
you did where did your whole stem from? Because you had
Self.
parents, you know, that
It's self. Right? Like you said, your biggest competitor, regardless of how much you love you get from whoever or however, even your husband, your wife, whatever. It's how you think of yourself.
Do you feel like you had something to prove to somebody?
It's once I got into the lifestyle and stuff like that, of course.
Right.
You know what I mean? But a lot of it was fear driven.
Mhm.
Because inside, like I said, I had morals and values.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But I didn't want them to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You try to act.
It's not cool to be nice, you know, even be from a gang, right?
Right.
Like it's not cool to do the right thing, you know what I'm saying? But like fear from not letting them, it's like it's just wearing layers and layers of masks.
It's like your mindset is under construction, right?
Yeah.
Where our mindset and perception is constantly changing.
Kobe.
You know, as far as so I have 19 years.
Mhm.
So when I went into that last program, I was and I had 19 years old. I mean, I was 19 years old, and I just turned 19 years clean. And so it's been a renewing of perception as we're constantly learning, and that mindset,
Mhm.
right? So it's
keep
just
reminding yourself, and that's hard because there's struggles, you know, and sometimes those struggles hold on to you, right?
Yeah.
They do.
Like he said, right? He was in the accident. And when I got in my accident, the first person he texted me, who did you call or who'd you tell? When you see my story, when I posted when I got in the car accident.
I forgot.
But I got in the same kind of accident, but I was with
Wow.
him in the car.
Yeah.
And the same thing, the crazy part is like I was making a left and they were coming, and when the car was hitting me, to me, nothing in the car was moving at all. He was in the back seat. I looked at him, and he was just looking at the phone. But I can hear all the metal just tearing from the side of the car. And, like, for that split second, like, nothing moved. Like, I was able to get out. He was all right, and I looked at my car, and I was just like, wow.
Wow.
Like, anybody else has seen it, like, on Facebook, we always, oh,
Yeah.
look what happened to me. But he, real quick, it's just,
You were
like,
shielded.
I know I have a purpose. Like I
Yes.
said, like how he said, I know I have a purpose. Like how my mother said when I first got shot, right? Like them telling me, hey, listen. Like, but when I first got shot, I remember her saying, like my dad wouldn't be able to sleep, and he was walking around pacing and doing stuff, and she's like, something happened to Robert, and here I am at General Hospital, right? And all I remember is being very tired, right? And I'm bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. And they're just like, hey, what's your mom's name? And I'm telling them what my mom's name is. I knew my phone number. That's when we had landlines, you know what I mean? And like, sure enough, they call my mom, and like she remembers getting there, right? And like just waking up and seeing my mom there, right? And you would think that would stop me, but like, nah, it wasn't enough. Now I had something to put with my story, right? To take back out there.
No, you had a resume.
Yeah, now I had a little resume. That's one thing when I got here, right? My resume
You
for
said a
life was all
resume.
about.
That's something.
That's the main
Thank
thing.
you,
that's,
resume.
That's what I say.
I went through
Damn.
some hardships
Before I got
too, you know
there,
what I mean?
Robert
So,
just
Yeah.
almost
that's-
died right
that's
now.
the
He
resume,
came back out.
bro.
Right.
Before I got
Yeah.
here, right, my resume of life. This is what I look at. The resume of life, right? I couldn't have a conversation with you guys like I'm having now. It was either where you been, who's your homeboy, where you been busted to, what prison. That's the only thing I knew. Right? And and for a long time I sat there thinking about like, damn, what would I having a conversation with someone my age? So my mindset was still of like an 18, 19-year-old,
Mhm.
right? I'm just growing up in the system. Not learning, not doing nothing productive, just sitting in there. But coming to this fellowship, right? And working these steps and learning to live a different kind of life, right? Like today I get to like, man, I got a good job, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm able to be a valuable asset to people, right?
Mhm.
Like maybe like, how do you say, like, I have my mother, my sister, my nephew, and all them, right? And they know what I've put them through. And to watch me now, they just trip out. Mom's like, I don't know what goes on over there. But she's like, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like she's like,
Keep doing what you're
I got
doing.
my son back, my son's back. Like we just came back from Thanksgiving from seeing my brother up north. And I'm driving with my mom and I'm just watching her and she's sleeping. And we're on the 5 coming down. And like I'm just watching her sleep next to me and I'm just staring at her like inside I'm getting that feeling like, man, because she's 70 years old. And the only thing we can't get back is time.
That's
Mhm.
it.
You know what I mean? And like for that split second, I was like, man, like I put this woman through so much.
Ugh.
I
Yeah.
put her through so much, but right now I'm able just to be there with her. You know what I mean? She's such a hard. My mom's a very, very strong woman, man. She's been through 2 husbands, all that. She's had so much struggles in life, and like she's really like she's inspirational.
She's
Yeah.
cool.
Like she's very inspirational, and when you get that age where you don't have no censor no more,
Yeah.
She's
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
No
my mom
filter.
ain't got no
I like
filter for
listening- I like
anybody.
listening to them talk.
Yeah, my
talking
mom-
crazy to them.
Yeah, she's man. It's just, but that's what this. That's what I do has got me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's what's happened by me just changing my life.
Have you?
know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question, Robert. You know how you felt that with your aunt, because that just gives me chills. Because it's like you always love your mama, right? It's
Yeah.
like no matter what, and to see now that you're a parent and see God what you put them through, right, or put
Yeah.
her through. Like, have you ever sat down and had a one-on-one talk?
Oh, we've
with-
talked.
Yeah, and
That's what those
you
rides are about.
cried and just
Yeah, we've sat, and it comes.
apologize.
There's a. Since we're in a 12-step fellowship, there's steps that go to
Yes.
making amends to people and stuff like
Yes.
that,
Mhm.
right? Because it's got to come
Exactly.
at a certain time. Because I can't just have 60 days and be like, hey, I'm sorry for stealing the
Yes,
TV and all that other shit.
exactly.
I mean, but get get out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
like, and that's kind of what I'm going through right now with his mom. She's like, hey, can he spend the night here and this and that? And it's like, it's only been a week.
Mhm.
Like, it's only been a week. Like right now, he's better care with me for now.
Exactly.
Like, and now I understand.
Mhm.
And it's like
Yeah.
it's just there, man.
Right.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's hard. Have you made amends with your dad?
Oh
Or
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, like I'm coming up on 20 years, and
Oh,
I
we have the
worked the
best relationship.
yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. So I've worked those steps over and over again, and we're constantly making new mistakes, right? We're constantly
Always.
having to make amends. Even for things that we did yesterday or whatever. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have reacted that way. I mean, it's a constant like just trying to be better than what I was yesterday, going back to challenging ourselves, going back to, trying to just do the best of our ability,
Yes.
and in all areas of our lives and being accountable to God. For me, that's what I am. I'm accountable to God. I'm not accountable to my bro or, I mean, at the end of the day, we hold each other accountable,
Yes.
right? But what am I doing when nobody's looking?
Mhm.
What am I doing when nobody's around? How am I acting, right? Or what am I doing?
Mhm.
I'm accountable to him, So that's just, a way of life now.
Yes.
We've come to this way of life, and it is through trials. It is through going through things, where we have learned to overcome and build character, and that's what happens.
Yes.
It's
Persevere.
like you're under construction, and trials just, when you get to that other side, you learn something and you become a better person. Like I was talking about um going through that disability with my back. It was during COVID and I injured my back, and then I had to have back surgery, and it was like the most horrible pain that I ever went through that I would never wish on anybody. But I'm grateful that I went through that because it taught me a lot about myself, where I'm at. Like, go through some stuff around here and then you'll see what you're really made of. So it's like we'll see what we're made of once we go through something. How are we reacting? How are we responding to the things that are going on in our lives? So I am grateful that I overcame and I went through that, but it made me more of a like, I refuse to go backwards. I
Yes.
refuse to be back in that place. And that's how I look at my day to day. There is no comparison to my days today to the way it was when I was out there. I don't ever want to go back to that, and I don't ever want to forget it. So, and that's what keeps me going. I wouldn't trade it for my worst day, clean and sober. I mean, it's like I have a peace within me that is undescribable. I wouldn't go back to that. Yeah. So
That's awesome. That's really good. I know it's those struggles are real, man, huh?
Absolutely. If there was something, actually, I do have a question. I don't mean to pry. When it comes to your parents,
Yeah.
were they ever able to kick that habit, or
My
did
dad
they?
died in 1997 from a heroin overdose.
Wow.
Sorry.
I got out a week later.
Trash.
We were both in the penitentiary at the same time in different ones. I came home. They told me he died the Monday before. And then my mom died 2007 when I had 5 years clean. So I was able to make a living amends and a direct amends to her
Okay.
from working the steps and, practicing some spiritual principles. But she never got clean.
Mhm.
She was on methadone for a long time. She struggled a long time, man.
Mhm.
And she did the best she could with what she had with us. You know what I mean? And I understand that today,
Right.
being a recovering addict.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it took me some years to understand that because I always felt she owed us more because I felt like we were robbed. You know what I'm saying? Of
Yeah.
the way we grew up.
Mhm.
And you know what? It took me some years, Matt, to really realize after she died that she did the absolute best with what she had
hmm
to give. You know what I mean? And because some of us we don't think about their past trauma
Yep.
and what they went through.
right.
So what they weren't taught.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So if we sit back and we think about stuff logically, how were you raised to make you raise us the way you were raised, right?
Exactly.
And like Rob was talking about, leaving the legacy behind. I don't want to leave a legacy of my kids talking about dad died because he took a big old blast off the pipe and his heart busted. You know what I'm saying? Or he died of a DUI because he drank too much and he crashed into another car or he crashed into a wall. I want to leave a legacy of my dad was a hard worker. He told us he loved us every day. He showed it through his actions. You know what I mean? What I didn't get showed. So when I was little, I wanted to be different than my mom and dad.
Mm.
But I ended up being exactly like them.
It's hard to break that chain.
Yeah.
It's
So then when I
hard.
got clean,
No.
every day, I don't care how old my kids are, because they're all grown now, I tell them I love them. But when I walk in the house, I look at my kids, and if they're there, I'm like, "Hey, I love you, man. You know I love you, right?" Or I'll come and grab their ear. "Hey, I love you, Pop." My youngest one, that's his nickname,
Okay.
and he's 6'3". So I gotta kind of like, I love you,
Tug.
Pop.
He's a giant.
Wait,
Oh, he's a
right?
giant. I'd be
Yeah.
like looking at that.
So you think about, I got one daughter, my oldest daughter that just moved from Arkansas. She's an addict, so that's why she struggled. Came here to get help to get back on her feet.
Okay.
Then I got my second daughter. She's in Arkansas still. She's married. She works. Her husband works, so she's doing her life. My middle son, or my oldest son, he has no kidneys. He's on dialysis 3 times a week. I'm his main caretaker. He lives with me 24/7. My middle son, Raymond, he's an EMT, going to school right now to become a paramedic for the county of Los Angeles.
That's awesome.
My third daughter, she's in Northern Arizona State University, or Northern Arizona College. She's about to graduate and come back over here, this side. And then my youngest, the 6'3", he's a United States Marine,
Oh,
Beautiful.
we're right.
right?
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
so to be able to raise, and he's the only one that's never ever seen me loaded. He ain't never seen me do no gang stuff, no negative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All he's seen was dad go to work, come home, provide, love on him as much as I could with what I had, learning along the way. Been to every single play, graduation, parent-teacher conference. Like, I didn't do that with the first 5.
Okay.
But with him, I did everything. You know what I mean? So I kind of lived that dream through him,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't get to do it with my first 5.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, breaking the cycle,
Yep. That
putting the link back on the chain, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's supposed to be, to lock in a legacy. You know what I mean? So
And they're all tight knit. All the brothers
Yeah.
and sisters,
Beautiful.
they're all close. They're,
she watched them grow up.
yeah,
So
really.
she watched
And it's hard
them
to,
grow.
especially for a man. My dad raised 5 brothers, my 5 brothers. He was a single dad, and this was in the 60s, and that was really hard, that, I mean, that's why I love my co-host.
Yeah,
He's so
yeah.
funny.
Checked her subtly.
He's all,
Yeah.
Go back over this way.
yes.
Good.
But, and
The
then,
tuna hooked her.
It's a good
yeah,
one,
he's
Kobe?
all, and then the youngest of my brothers, he was an addict and
That's
he
funny.
passed away. So I relate, and it hurts. It hurts, and but it's all learning process.
That's it.
Everything's a learning process.
That's it.
Every day.
Every day,
Yes.
every day.
We never stop learning.
If
Yeah.
if there was one thing you guys could tell, ladies and gentlemen, that you could tell somebody out there that might be watching this,
Kobe.
that's going through that, that's going through it right now, what would be something that you would tell them, as far as how to get through that bridge?
I would say put down the pride and ask for help, man. Get humble. Because if not, you'll completely get humiliated. You know what mean?
I would say, I mean, I keep it real and straightforward. There's a lot going on right now in the world.
A
I mean,
lot.
look at what's going on in the world right now. We're not promised tomorrow. I mean, the stuff's getting really ugly. There's no time to waste. The time is now.
Like it's,
Give yourself a chance is what I would say. Give yourself a chance and really the time is now to just put it all down.
and I
Put it
think
all
it's
down.
scarier now because there's so much stuff that's being laced.
It
Fentanyl.
is, girl. I'm
Yes.
like, oh, there ain't no way in
Yes,
hell.
it's bad.
No, I'm good.
Yes, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, because
Can I say one thing?
Go right
Yeah,
ahead.
man.
Don't be ashamed of what you put yourself through, and just ask for the help, man. Because like at the end of the day, a lot of us, a lot of society, man, has somebody or knows somebody that's an addict, that's stuck out there, or even in one of your family members, alcoholism, addiction, whatever it may be, man. Ask for the help, man. There's no shame in asking for help,
None at
man.
all.
Yeah.
And
None.
and for reference, if there's anyone out there, anyone that needs help, you can always at any time DM Carlos, Robert, Charlene.
Yes.
Their Instagram name will be on the bottom of this, and you guys could just do a direct message. Hey, you know what? I saw your story. I have some questions.
And don't worry, we won't tell who you are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
Anonymity is safe.
Confidentiality.
Your
you know,
confidentiality safe
it's all
this way, I'll
good.
tell you that.
Yeah.
But there is an outlet. There's help out there. And this is why today we're discussing this, because it's crazy. Now are the days
They're
that
not alone.
no.
See, a lot of times we get in our head, and that's the worst place to be. Cause
Exactly.
Hey, I'm not that friend that's gonna
Yeah.
tell on you, so go ahead and reach out.
Yeah. Me neither.
I don't want you to be mad at me in the joint.
Well, you guys, I want to thank you guys very much for
Thank you.
being
Thank
my
you.
guest.
Yeah,
Yes.
for
Thank you for
sure.
having
guys.
us.
Absolutely. This has been really good. And, hopefully it helps out somebody out there. If we could touch one person, right?
Just
Oh.
One
one.
person.
God's done
One.
his job.
That's it.
Yes.
So, with that said,
Yeah, so just a couple of final thoughts. Thank you guys for coming over. I know it's very brave of you guys to be up here,
Yes.
'cause not everybody likes to put their stuff out there like that. You
Right,
know what I
right.
mean? So we definitely appreciate you guys coming over for
yes,
that.
thank you.
And then the other thing is also thank you for being a positive impact. Even though you may not think that you are, but you are being a
are.
positive impact to a lot of people, right? Not just people here, but even people that might just stumble upon the YouTube video
podcast,
or the
yeah.
podcast. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's a good thing. And like my father always said, great things always come from hardship. It may not feel like
Absolutely.
it may not feel like at the time, right?
Right.
But it definitely makes you that stronger person. It's like a sword that's getting put in that fire, and you're forging the hell out of that sword, and you're pounding it, right? And you're putting it through some heat. You're just beating it up. But at the end of it, it's a shiny ass fucking sword.
Yes.
That's a
You know
good
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a
Sharper.
shiny
I look at it
ass
as like
fucking
Sharper.
sword.
refining. You're refining
You're
Yes.
refining
the
it.
gold, and
That's
you need
it.
those impurities got to come out. You know, I've always saw that those struggles.
clay.
Like
Yeah.
God is
Yeah.
taking out those impurities in the heart, right? That need to be uprooted and come out. And we
Totally.
can't heal what we can't feel.
Exactly.
So come
Look,
on.
let me say this to you out there right now. You can't heal what you don't reveal. So come and ask for help.
That's what
I
I'm
love
talking
that.
about.
We got to
Yeah.
finish it like that.
Yeah,
That's
that's what we're talking
awesome.
about, Carlos.
Preach it.
Mic drop, mic drop.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Y'all look, I don't want to break this mic.
But
Costs too much
thank
money.
you guys so much. I do appreciate your time. I appreciate your guys' story. Everything was wonderful, and it was really to heart. Do you want to give a little
I can do a quote.
A quote of
So
the-
I got one right here. It says, "The struggle you're in today is developing the strength you will need for tomorrow."
That's right.
Finish it.
Good one.
Yes. That is a good one.
Oh,
Good.
thank you guys very much.
Have a
for
good night,
watching.
guys.
Good
Night.
night. I hope
Yes.
you guys enjoy.
Click and subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, don't
Right,
forget.
right.
Hit the subscribe
Yeah.
button.
Look what I'm talking about. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy. That's all for today. Thank you for watching and listening. It truly means the world to me. If you enjoy the show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe at Let Loose with Lou on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify.